Hi, I'm Kara.
My name is Eugene.
He's a 6-year-old on the spectrum.
Can you introduce me? Who's this, Eugene?
It's Kara.
Kara? Who's Kara?
My mom.
Your mom.
You didn't know?
Well, I did, but some people don't.
When Eugene was growing up, he was always delayed to a certain extent, so I always had concerns, but nobody else did. So when he was 3, I took him to Lively and I had him tested for pre-K because he qualified for that. So it's like a very long, drawn-out process. But basically you go for what they call like an or it's like a 15-minute check. And they spend 15 minutes with the child and decide if he can go to pre-K or not. And during that evaluation, the lady spent 5 minutes with him and said, "You're gonna have to bring it back." And I was like, okay, this is obviously step 1. And so then we brought him back. They did like a 2-hour testing and they labeled him developmentally delayed. That was the first label he got, and that got him into pre-K. So he was in pre-K, and at that point he was nonverbal. So within 6 months he started talking, and then he was in pre-K for about a year and a half, and he was almost to the age where he was going to go to kindergarten. And so they wanted to retest him because developmentally delayed only gets you to 6. And at that point, if you don't have another diagnosis, you kind of lose services, is how they labeled it to me. So, hold on 1 second, okay? So basically we did all the testing all over again, and they came to me and said, he's on the spectrum. It was a shock, but it wasn't a shock because I always knew there was something going on, but I wasn't quite sure where he fell. So when they gave me the diagnosis, it was like a relief, but it was also, where do we go from here?
I like having fun, and games,
What kind of games?
hide and seek, soccer, and drag game. Good. N.
So autism has been part of his development or affected his development. He was nonverbal, and when we did try to put him in speech before pre-K, he was about 18 months old. Because there was no diagnosis, they kind of treated him like a neurotypical child and used neurotypical teachings, and that just caused regression. So I knew then there was something else going on. He was always social, so that always threw me off with the autism because they say they're not as social. But he's a little social butterfly. He doesn't like eye contact though, and that was always a red flag. He'll give it to you, he wants to give it to you, but if he doesn't want to look at you, he doesn't want to look at you. Once he started talking, I was like, oh, he's fine. We'll get over whatever this is. And then things started happening, like when he played, he only would play with the dinosaurs, and he didn't want to play the other games that kids his age were playing. And I was like, okay, he's gonna need some extra help. And when we got him in pre-K, we had that help, and it was great. But trying to get a high-functioning autistic child in general education mainstream just doesn't work at every school. So it was just too difficult for him to balance out the social, the education, and the emotional parts of it in one day at a time. Like, it was just too much. So I think that he has highs and lows in his development, but the autism has definitely affected all aspects of his life, I think.
I have a meltdown
Why?
because when something's broken and when someone takes my drink and when I get whooping, I can't cry.
But what other things cause you to have meltdowns?
Everything.
Like,
Something that scares me, something makes me sad. When someone breaks the rules.
what about when you have to leave after school?
That makes me cry too.
Yeah, but they'll come good.
When you have a meltdown, how do you feel on the inside?
My heart breaks.
No, like in your brain.
Oh, it has to go somewhere else.
And what makes you feel better after you have a meltdown?
When someone fix my heart.
And what fixes your heart?
Look,
What do they do to show you that they love you?
they give me a hug and a kiss.
Aw.
Are we done now? And he can please anyone. I mean, anyone.
It's so big.
It's so humongous. Look at them. So long.
It goes choo choo.
Some of the negatives and positives on how it has affected his development. Socially, he is still what I call too nice because he just wants everybody to be his friend. Intellectually, he blows my mind though. He can remember facts.
I need more
He
chairs.
can learn things in very
We make this.
simple tasks. He picks up things that I have a hard time with, like computers and any kind of electronics. He
Over this one.
reads on a very high level, I think, for his age.
No.
But yet he
No,
still
I'm
has trouble answering certain questions like, what did you do today? Or where did you go last week? But I think that he's still growing and that with help, he can find his own place in this world. In the crazy world that we live in.
What else do you know about your mom?
That she's my best
Okay, that was funny.
friend. Now that's enough, okay?
Okay.
That's over.
No.